guaranteeing it that if you've never, ever, ever sat next to a $1 million biller in your life, in your recruitment career, I'm guaranteeing that you do not believe that it's possible. I'm guaranteeing it, right? You literally become the average of the people around you. We've all heard this thing before, but there's also another cognitive bias at play here, and it's called the availability heuristic. It's a really fascinating one, and I want to go into it. It's not going to take long, but when you really understand how this is impacting your performance, you will really want to change something about your day-to-day lifestyle, career, whatever, so that you can maximize and increase how your performance goes, right? So I'm going to land this not in sales world right now, but let's just look at like some interesting facts here. The availability heuristic, okay, it's a cognitive bias where people estimate the likelihood of an event based on how easily they can recall instances of it. So as I said, if you've not seen a $1 million biller, you can't recall an instance of it. Therefore, you do not believe it can happen. But let's look at shark attacks. I think they're a great example of this, right? There is proof that if there is a highly publicized shark attack on the news or on your social media or whatever, beach attendance can literally drop by up to 60%, even though the actual risk of a shark attack remains the same, okay? There is only literally 70 to 100 shark attacks worldwide a year, okay? But 50% of Americans believe they are at a moderate to a high risk of being attacked by a shark when swimming. The odds are literally 1 in 3.7 million. So this is the availability heuristic at play, okay? Another great example is crime, okay? In the US, there's a lot of US stats, I don't know why, but crime has literally decreased since the 1990s. It's been on a decrease since the 1990s. But over 60% of Americans actually believe crime is increasing, and this is because media coverage of violent crimes has gone up and the availability of that through social media has gone up. So while the actual rate of crime's gone down, the perception of it is that it is going up. Okay, so it's crazy how this availability heuristic can really skew our belief systems. And we all know that if we believe something, then typically our behaviors follow. I.e., if we believe we can make $1 million, then our behaviors are going to follow to then achieve $1 million, right? So my key takeaway here is that if you see or hear about rare events more readily than you should, then it actually greatly increases your perceived risk and therefore the behaviors and expectations of that event happening again. So availability heuristic, social proof, these things play a massive role in shaping the performance and expectations in a sales environment, in a recruitment environment, and especially with junior recruiters who don't know any better. They sponge up those around them, right? So I want to give you an example now because this is gonna hit home to a lot of recruiters listening to this podcast. If you are in an average sales environment, okay, where the norm is 400 grand. Let's just say everyone in that business says 400 grand's a good number. We're happy with that. That's what we make. That's how we perform. And you come in as a junior recruiter and you go, okay, everyone's making 400 grand here and you make 400 grand in a year. How are you going to feel? Are you going to feel like you're above average, below average, or exactly where you need to be? You're going to feel like you've fallen in line, okay? But let's take that same recruiter and let's put them into $1 million environment where there's multiple $1 million billers. The standard and expectation is much higher. How do you think that 400 grand is going to feel to them now? Okay. They're going to feel like they're failing. They're going to feel like they're below performance expectations. And naturally, they're going to start to see and feel what those people around them are doing, and they're going to lift their game too. And this is both a conscious and an unconscious thing. Okay. I was so lucky when I started in recruitment. I sat around multiple $1 million billers and like multiple 900K billers. So it was like, that's where we got to get to. That's where we got to be. And I can totally see this in action, right? So if you are sitting here and you're going, holy shit, the average recruiter here is making 400 grand, you might need to think about what you're doing there, okay? The other thing you can look at too, and the other bias at play, okay, it's not just what we see out there. It's actually our own belief system on what we personally can do, okay? So I'm going to give you another great example of this and why it's so important to really, really work on this mind frame. But let's just take your best month ever. What is the best month you've ever done? I just want you to think now. What is the best month in dollar value that you have ever done in your career? Okay. And I want you to write it down. And for just math's sake, I'm going to say, let's say it's $100,000. That's the best month you've ever done. If I were to ask you, hey, do you think you could do $100,000 month again? The likely answer you're going to give me is, well, yes. And I'll say, why? And you say, because I've done it before. Okay? It is literally the answer, the sequence of answers that are going to come through here. If I now say to you, okay, what is the likelihood of you doing a $200,000 month, i.e. double what your best month ever is? How does that make you feel? Okay? And most of you are going to go, oof, that's tough. And most of you will say, I don't think I can do it. Okay? And that's fair because there is no proof. There is no available information to say that you can do it. You've never done it before. Okay? And so this, again, is that availability heuristic, that social proof, that previous performance dictating what your future performance can do. It's actually holding you back. And I'm going to tell you why it's a complete lie. I'm going to tell you why it's a complete fabrication in your mind. It's a limiting belief. Okay? Why can't you do your best month times 2? Why? There is no reason why you can't, other than you just tell yourself you can't do it. You do not believe you can do it. Okay? But how's this for a fucking mind trip? Take half of that biggest month. Let's say half of your biggest month is $50,000. Okay? At some point in your career, if you rewind far enough, $50,000 was the best month you ever did in your career. And at that $50,000, you felt like a fucking hero. And if I were to ask you at that point in your career, hey, what's the best you could do in a month? Do you think you could do 50 again? You'd say, hell yeah, I can. And if I said to you, hey, do you think you could double it and do 100 in a month? You would probably give me the same answer you just gave me before when I asked you if you could double your best month now. Proof, social proof that you're lying to yourself. Social proof that you can do better, okay? And that we put these limitations on our mind and we put these limitations in place because I don't know why. It was self-preservation, whatever. But I do believe it's this availability heuristic, your social proof. And so for me, there's 2 layers to this. There's your individual performance, proving we believe we can do what we've done. We believe we can do what we can see in our own performance. So we say, if I've done it before, I can do it again. Okay? And if we see it in the environment around us, that person can do it, therefore I can do it. Okay? So there's a couple of layers here. And for me, it's just the more you see something possible, the more likely it is going to happen for you. So if you are looking around right now and you're wanting to be here, let's say at X, but you're actually currently way below it down here, ask yourself, 1, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to see more of this? What can I do to get involved, rub shoulders with people who are doing where I want to be? And 2, am I in the right environment? If you are literally surrounded by people who are not anywhere close to where you want to be, you really want to think about, are you in the right place? Because chances are, if you never see it, if you're never around people who are achieving what you want to achieve, you will become the average of the people around you and you will be stuck in the mud, wheel spinning until you make a change. Okay? But look, some people are loyal. You might have other reasons that you want to stick around. So my advice would be try and get out there and meet big billers. Okay? Find them online. If you hear of one, reach out to them, work with big billers, see if you can work in an environment with big billers. Go get a coach, go get a mentor who's been there, done that. There's $1 million mentor. We do mentoring, whatever. Just get amongst it. If you want to increase your performance, 1, surround yourself with people who are performing at the level you want to perform at. And 2, stop kidding yourself that you can't double the best month you've ever done, because at some point in your career, half of your best month that you've currently done was your max and you've since doubled it, okay? So why not double it again? That's all I have time for you today. So on that note, I've been saying this for days now, weeks now, we are giving away a free one-on-one coaching session with me. So we're going to deep dive. And what we're going to do on that is we're going to deep dive into the 3 pillars of the recruitment sweet spot, which is performance, which is mindset, and which is lifestyle. okay? And we're going to work out which one of those is your greatest growth opportunity. And the ideal scenario for anyone listening in this scenario is you want to get all three pumping. You want to get all three humming because they just could kind of feed each other. I'm going to do a whole episode on that next week. But the way you can subscribe, the way you can get in the running for that is to subscribe on the mailing list, thelonerecruiter.com/subscribe. The links will be below. You subscribe there, you will be in the running. We will draw your name out of the hat on our 200th episode. And we're really excited to give this one away. That's all I have time for you today. As always, have an amazing day, and may all your deals come true.